the biggest roadblocks when it comes to decluttering is the fear that you're going to regret getting rid of something for whatever reason. So I want to share a story that I haven't actually shared here before, and a recent epiphany that helped me to overcome a regret that I have carried around for years. Let's go. Hi guys, it's Laura and I help you live a simpler, happier, more spacious life. Okay, Laura from the future here because I have a crazy story that relates to this video, and I hate to be the person who does this, but you have to stick around until the end of the video, I know, but I promise you it doesn't really have the same impact. It won't really make as much sense unless you watch the rest of the video first, so I will pop back in afterwards, but trust me, it's a good one. Okay, so you know that I have been decluttering for years and years now. I don't even know how many years, like a decade-ish. And of the thousands, literal thousands of things, possibly tens of thousands at this stage, things that I have got rid of, there have been two things that I have regretted letting go of. So I want to share the ways that I was able to get over those. And the first was kind of, I got over it a few years ago. It was the first outfit that my daughter ever wore. Like when she was born, this was the outfit that was put on her in the hospital. She was like a massive baby, so she was like squashed into it. But my husband, and I love him and he's great and everything, but he took it home after she had worn it and he threw it in a wash with a navy night dress that I had, and this lovely kind of creamish white onesie came out all grayish, bluish, horrible essentially. And I ended up decluttering it because every time I looked at it I was like, this is ruined. Like she's obviously never going to wear it again. Like she didn't even fit into it when she was newborn. But I was kind of annoyed every time I looked at it, so I decided I would get rid of it. Fast forward a few years, this had been playing on my mind, but I realized that if I had kept it, it would just be sitting in like a memory box somewhere. Like I probably wouldn't ever take it out and look at it, or if I did, I probably would have been reminded that I was annoyed at the time. It just didn't make sense to keep it when I was probably only going to see it like every 5 years or so when I dug through those boxes. I also had pictures of her wearing the onesie, so yeah, I felt at the time that it wasn't worth keeping. But yeah, I know that that has helped other people in the past, just realizing that even if you had kept it, the chances of you actually using it or even seeing it were slim. You were probably going to tuck it out of the way. You know, there was a reason why you got rid of it. But the second one is an epiphany that I've had just recently, and I think this is going to be super helpful for somebody if you have something that you decluttered and you have regretted it. This was the case for me, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of background around why I declutter it, just a little bit of context around why I got rid of this item, and why I regretted it, and what I have been doing ever since until I had this epiphany. So the year was 2016. I remember it. My husband and my daughter and I were on holidays in Portugal. We were staying in Carvoeira, and it was our last day there. We were due to catch a flight later that day, so we decided that we would spend our last day there kind of like walking around, visiting all of the shops, going to the beach, doing all the touristy things. So we set out, we walked around for the whole day, then we made it to the airport, we walked all around the airport, we got back to Dublin, we walked all around Dublin airport. By the time I got home, my feet were sore, so I got rid of the shoes that I had been wearing. They were a wedge sandal and I loved them, but when I got back I was kind of like, these shoes hurt my feet. Even though looking back now, I realized it wasn't actually the shoes, it was the fact that I had walked for miles and miles, like thousands of steps that day. But yeah, was feeling pretty ruthless. This is also like, these shoes are the reason that I changed my advice around decluttering. So previously, because I was going like hardcore KonMari, I was of the mindset that if something didn't spark joy, like if you had any sort of reservation, you should just get it out of your life. These shoes, they changed that because I was in that mindset. I had some reservations about the shoes, so I was ruthless. I got rid of them. I almost instantly regretted it. I donated them and went back even and they were gone. So yeah, I have been carrying that around with me for years. Like I said, I've changed my advice now. I feel like if you're hesitant to let go of something, probably hold on to it for now. But let me come back to the whole regret thing. Like I said, this is 2016. Okay, this is 7 years ago. Ever since, I have been looking to replace those shoes. So anytime I go to a shop and they have a shoe section, I always check it. Not like to find those, but even something similar. I have even Googled online to see if I can find them. I have a photograph of the shoes and I've been like trying to like enlarge it and like sharpen it so I can make out the brand so that I could look them up. I mean, like, it has been just it has been all consuming. Really. Every time I wear a particular outfit, I'm like, oh, those shoes would have worked so well with this outfit. So 7 years, and then my family were here for Christmas and I go out shopping a lot more than I normally would when they're here. So I mean, I don't know how many different shoe shops we went to, and every single one of them I was still looking either for these shoes or something similar to replace them. And then recently, after they left, I was out walking the dog one day. This just happened to me. And I had this epiphany, like this awakening, because I was walking the dog and I was thinking, you need to let these shoes go, Laura. Like, it's been 7 years. You're not going to find them again. They probably don't even make them anymore. You've done your best. And that's when it hit me. Even if I had kept those shoes, by now, like 7 years later, they would have been completely worn out and I would have had to probably dump them. So even if I kept them at this stage, I probably would no longer have them anyway. Does that make sense? I really hope that's helpful for someone if you decluttered something and it's been a while, realizing that either one, even if you kept it, you probably would have shoved it in a drawer or in a memory box or at the back of a closet or a cupboard somewhere, and you wouldn't have interacted with it. But on the flip side, if it has been a year or if it's been years and you still have some like lingering regrets about something, realizing that even if you had kept it, even if you had used it, even if you had loved it, you probably would have had to get rid of it in the meantime because it just would have worn out. Those realizations have just lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. Like, I genuinely feel that a burden has been lifted because I've been carrying around that regret and that guilt of getting rid of them all these years. And like I said, every shop I go to or every outfit I wear during the summer, I'm like, should have kept the shoes. Should have kept the shoes. But here we are, all these years later, I finally set myself free. And I hope if you are carrying a burden like that, that this video has maybe given you some hope and some inspiration for setting yourself free too. So I just went thrift shopping with my daughter. I wanted to see if I could get like a little furniture piece for this little book nook that I'm creating here, and she wanted to get some clothes. She loves the charity shop, which is great for me because it saves me a fortune. But anyway, we went. I was looking for furniture. I kind of looked around, saw some nice bits, nothing really amazing, but there was like a whole furniture section down at the end. So I'm walking down towards the end of the store and I see the shoe section, and because it's just a habit of mine now, I go to a shop and I still check the shoe section. So even though I had my epiphany like a few days beforehand, I'm still in that habit of checking. So I went up and down the shoe aisles, like, surprise, surprise, did not find the shoes. Like, I'm used to it at this stage. So I'm heading down towards the back of the shop where all the furniture is kept. And as I'm walking, I spot one more aisle of shoes. And I'm like, Laura, just let it go. Like, you've already made your peace with this. You can just walk on by. It's like, move on with your life. And I'm like, look, it's one more aisle. I had a peek down, I couldn't see anything, but I'm like, it's one more aisle. While I'm here, I'll just walk down. So I walk down to the end of the aisle, and what do I find? The shoes! I found the shoes. Oh my God. I wish there had been a camera on me at the time, just to see the expression on my face. 7 years. I have searched for these shoes, and you want to know the even crazier thing? So I donated these shoes in Dublin 7 years ago. I donated them to a St. Vincent de Paul, and fast forward 7 years, I find them in Cincinnati, Ohio, like 3,000 miles away, in a St. Vincent de Paul, Cincinnati, Ohio. They're not my shoes. I mean, I assume they're not my shoes, but what are the chances? And they're like almost brand new. There's like some very light scuffing on the soles. Like, I don't think these have been worn except to have been like tried on. They look brand new. I cannot, 7 years I have been searching for these shoes, and like, you know, a week ago I'd made my peace with that. I was like, okay, just let the shoes go. If these shoes were a person, this would be a Hallmark movie. I am still in shock. I got them. Oh, they're not even expensive shoes. Like, they're just relatively cheap sandals, but I got the brand name. I went online, I googled them. They still make them. I'm going to buy like 10 pairs of them, and I think I'm going to get them in different colors and stuff. They're nice. They're like, they don't have a huge heel on them, but they still give you a little bit. This is not a plug for the shoes, but I'm just saying how much I love these shoes. I cannot believe it. And I'm not saying this will happen to you. Like, you know, you let it go and it will come back into your life. But for 7 years, I have been searching for these shoes. Like, I let them go. I shouldn't have. I have been searching for them ever since. And then a week ago, I'm like, you know what, Laura, you can let the shoes go. Like, it's time. And then I walk into a charity shop and find the shoes. How mad is I'm still in shock. I can't quite believe it. I will be wearing these like all spring, summer, autumn long. And like I said, I'm going to buy myself several pairs. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. What are the chances? If you want to make sure that you don't regret something, then I do have a video on the things that you should never declutter because you will regret it. That is right here. Until next time, Cura Míle Mácuh, agus feici mé sibh go luath. Slán.